Welcome to the first video in the Inktober series. Now, as I explained in the video that I did before this one, I'm still uploading every Thursdays and Sundays. All the ones that are leading up to my upload days, I should say, I am going to be posting all the days prior to that, and I'm also going to be posting that day's Inktober drawing in that upload as well. So the first one is, obviously day one is ring, and it was really funny. The first thing that came to my mind when I thought of this was a severed finger with a ring on it. And that's what I drew. So what it is I drew around my finger, because you know how much I love to draw around my own hand. So I drew my own ring finger into the box, because this severed finger it's been put into a box with a ring on it, and it's being basically shipped to the person that it's been intended for, to say, you know, here's your ring, here's your present, it's on a severed finger. Or you could look at it at so many different ways. You could also, have, it could be a hostage situation, and this person has sent his wife's finger back to this guy as, as a bribe or something, to say, something malice, to say, hey, we've got your wife. You give us a ransom or whatever, or we're just going to keep chopping off body parts. Yeah, I know I went a bit morbid with this one, but hey, I was just feeling it, and I just went with it. And I did this box, which was quite hard to sort of work out the dimensions of how to do the box and the angling of the lid. And it really did sort of push me out of my comfort zone. And that's what this is for. Like, Inktober is about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing things that you wouldn't normally do, and sort of generating ideas you wouldn't normally do. And that's what I really like about this, because, not all pieces are going to be perfect. And I know that for a fact. I'm going to have bad days, but I'm still going to upload them, because I just want to show the process of me drawing every day for 31 days. And this was really fun. This was a really fun piece to start off with, and I'm hoping that I'm going to keep the same feeling throughout the videos. I'm hoping I'm going to keep enjoying it, and yeah, I just keep producing work that I'm happy with. But I know when it comes to these sort of challenges, there's going to be at least a couple of pieces that you're not going to be happy with it. I know, I can predict it already. There's going to be pieces that I am definitely not going to be happy with. But straight off the bat, this one was a fun one. I really enjoyed doing the severed finger and trying to work out the shading too, which I've noticed. The shading with just black, like how many different tones you can get with the black ink. And I'm really, really happy that I decided to go down the path of getting the black ink, because it's really good. I really, really, really like working with this black ink. So yes, that is my day one prompt, ring. I know I went a little morbid with this one, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Day 2 was Mindless. And once again, the first thing that popped into my head for this prompt was a zombie holding his brain. So that's what I drew, and I ended up doing this zombie that has part of its anatomy missing. And I wanted to expose the rib cage, and I wanted there to be a spine. And the original idea to this was I was not even going to do a bottom half. I wasn't going to do anything like that, but I ended up including that because it did look a little bit silly with just the spine sort of sitting there. So I proceeded with doing like a little bit of the bottom half of this zombie. And I know what you're thinking about the underwear and the big bulge at the front. I don't know either. I don't know how that ended up happening, but it did. And this zombie is basically, you know, I don't know what he's doing. He's sort of, I don't know if he's falling apart. Well, actually, we might just run with that. He's falling apart, and the top of his head has come off. Or it's been severed off by someone, maybe. And he's decided to reach into his head and grab his brain and be like, what is this? Do I need this now that I'm a zombie? I'm not too sure what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the story behind this piece. Once again, I went a little bit gory, and I am going to try and do a lot of these prompts without doing too much gore, or try not to do any gore. It is hard because I really like to add that touch, but I'm gonna try. But I want to include that in my pieces. But I'm really at the moment enjoying trying to get the shading done with just one color. And this is something that I really do like to use. This is, if I took everything away and someone said to me, what is your absolute most favorite art supply to use to design artwork, I would say just give me some black fine liners and a bit of paper. I'll be happy. And that's how I started. That's how I started to do a lot of things, was just with doing just using fine liners, just using black, or just using a pencil with different shades of, with different shades in it. So this is the reason I did sort of say to myself that I was going to do Inktober this year, because when I looked at it, I really thought about it, and I went, well, this is something that is what I really like to do. Like, I am marketing myself as a watercolor artist, but when you strip me down, oh, that didn't come out right. when you strip everything down and you say to me, what is your absolute most favorite thing to use? It's just a black pen. That's it. So far in my element with this, I really, really enjoyed this, and this piece so far is one of my favorites, with this zombie that is just pulling out his brain. So he's basically going to rip it out completely, and he's going to be not only brainless, but he's going to be mindless. So that is my day 2 of Mindless, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully the big bulge at the front in his underwear is not distracting you too much. day 3, the final piece in this video, was bait. And once again, the first thing that popped into my head, because with a lot of these prompts, I just got a jolt of like an image in my head. And with this one, I wanted to do a lure with basically a fish head on the lure, and it's basically oozing blood out the back of it because it's either been A, eaten by something, or B, it's been purposely cut off by a fisherman and thrown into the water. So use your own imagination with this one. It's an interesting piece. It kind of didn't go to plan the way that I wanted to. It came off a little bit too big. I wanted to sort of shrink it a little bit more, but I erased it quite a few times, which I don't show in the video. I cut that part out, and I really just tried to just shrink it down, but every time I went to draw this, I ended up just drawing it the size that it is. So I left it. I thought maybe that's, it was meant to be drawn like that. And I must admit it did work, and yeah, it's quite an interesting piece to have this, this fish head being caught on this lure. One's through the mouth and one is through the side of him, and yeah, he's been cut off at the back of the head, and there is just this trail of blood coming out the back of this fish. And yeah, that's really the story. There's nothing really much to go with this one, with the story wise anyways. This one I had a few touch and go moments with the shading. I really didn't know how I was going to shade it, and I started to really dislike how I did the eye shading. That was gross. But I do kind of fix it to the point where I do kind of like it again. But yeah, it's okay. I do like it at the end. It all comes together, I feel, in the end, even though I didn't think it was going to. This was probably the start of me thinking that I was going to be turfing this one away and starting again, but I didn't have to. I liked it in the end, and yeah, that is it. That is the first 3 days of my Inktober journey so far. Hopefully I am still going to be positive at the end of this. I'm hoping, cross fingers. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed these 3 so far, and stay tuned for the next ones coming up in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!